welcome to our second webinar. And our today's theme will be about embracing technology as a woman entrepreneur. Women were largely excluded from the first, second, third industrial revolution, leading 2 centuries and economic domination by men. The foundations for the fourth are the digital and being laid right now. The absence of women would be a major blow to closing the gender gap in the 21st century. We can also see that there is a profound digital gender divide in the world. And we have seen also that many women entrepreneurs need to upskill fast as many as possible for their future business to be able to get that digital transformation that's needed. We welcome today with us our 2 panelists, Zulaika Sunthbocus from Mauritius, Liz Ward from Australia, and unfortunately, we had a third panelist, but for unforeseen circumstances, she couldn't attend today, and she sent her apologies. Welcome all participants. So let me start with a small quote. It was written by the 8th UN Secretary General, Ban Ki-moon, which quoted, "ICTs have become essential enablers of socio-economic development. Today's and tomorrow's technologies will help bring the Millennium Development Goals within reach." So without any more delay, let's start, ladies. We welcome Liz and we welcome Zulaika. I would suggest if you can just give us a brief intro about Liz and Zulaika. Liz, would you like to start first?
Thank you, Sameera, and thank you everybody for joining us for this webinar. And I do hope that I can share some of my experience and ideas that will be inspirational and motivational for everybody. My opening comments are that I have loved my interactions with people in Mauritius over the years, and I do know that you've been through a very hard time with COVID, and I understand that things are looking more optimistic now, and I'm very pleased for you about that. So a little bit about me. I have spent quite a lot of my working life working with digital technology. In the mid-90s, I was a person who you would say was in the right place at the right time. I was working in the tourism industry, but in government tourism. And I was asked to manage a project of developing the first ever destination website for the state of Queensland in Australia. And I said, well, they didn't even call it a website. We want you to work on this internet project. This was about 1995. And I said, what's the internet? I had no idea what they were talking about. So that was my entree into working in digital marketing. I came at it from a technology background. I didn't have a technology degree. I had some qualifications, more at a college level, and so I was able to take like a project management role, and I learned as I went along, and I was able to learn because I didn't know what you couldn't do. I pushed boundaries and I found ways, pushed developers, web developers, to do things that they didn't think were possible, reusing data rather than recreating things. So I found myself pioneering somewhat, and was in a very fortunate position then to think, well, technology can be an enabler. You can achieve a lot with it, and you don't have to always follow the rules with it. You can find ways to use it because you have a business outcome you're trying to achieve. So my career went on along that pathway on kind of developing digital systems, and that included starting up something called the Australian Tourism Data Warehouse, which is a platform digital marketing and distribution for the tourism industry in Australia. And then I was its CEO for 10 years. And for the last 6 years, I have had my own business, which is an online training and support business for other businesses. We have a brand in tourism called Tourism Tribe, and I have done some work in Mauritius running some tourism programs a few years ago. And then we have a new brand called Navi Digital, Navii, and that is to take what we do in tourism into other sectors. So we offer online courses to businesses and entrepreneurs like the people who are on this call. We do consulting. We do what's called a digital engagement health check. So what we are doing is empowering business people to be able to keep up with technology, so their businesses and do what they want to do. So is that an adequate introduction, a bit of background? Great, thank you.
That's really a lot, Liz. Thank you very much. Very inspiring journey as well. Zulaika, can you hear a few words from you, please?
Yes. Do you hear me? Because
yes, we can.
Okay, because it's a little bit how can I say, hectic context. But anyway, so Zulaika, thank you so much, Sameera, for having me today, and also I'm really proud to be part of the Business Without Borders team. So I am also an active member of AMFCE, and I really I'm proud of the values of this association. A little bit of background. So I'm Mauritian, born in Mauritius. I went for my further studies in technology. So I have embraced technology since the beginning. So I've been working as an analyst, programmer, and then I really changed hats, and I became a functional consultant during the ERP era. So implementing ERP solutions for my clients, and this made me travel the world and gave me, this taste of traveling. So actually I am traveling. So that's why the context is a little bit hectic. So then I was a functional consultant, and then something like I never stopped thinking of coming back to my country, to my roots. And in 2005, I came back to Mauritius, where with two partners, we founded an IT consulting and software development company called Spoon Consulting. So since 15 years now, almost 16, I've been within the company, really managing the company. So at the beginning, I was really in the operational. So again, working with the technology ERPs and more a delivery manager. Then I changed my hat again. And since 5 or 6 years now, I've been really working on different, all these different transverse aspects of the company, which is needed to make a company grow, like human resources, networking, marketing, recruitment, so all these different aspects. But I stopped my activity, and today I'll tell you a little bit more about this later. I am an active retired woman, so really explains why I'm here today with you, ladies. So let's, I think we will have a nice time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Zulaika. Thank you very much. So myself, Sameera Chattun Koyratty. So I am the secretary of AMFC. I'm wearing the hat of the secretary today. So we women, I know we wear different hats, but today I'm the secretary, and I will be your moderator for this panel discussion today. So without losing any time, we are going to start with our first question, which the question goes to both of you. So we say that small businesses are engines of growth and considered the backbone for economic growth. Promoting technology to our SMEs and MSMEs have been recognized as an important strategy for advancing the economic empowerment of women. So my question to both of you, what is the role of technology today in your journey as entrepreneurs? Would you like to start, Zulaika?
Okay, perfect. So the role of technology. So myself, as I said, I've embraced technology since a very long time. I won't say how long, but at the same time, for me today, technology and digitalization are really key factors to achieve success in a business. So as an active entrepreneur, apart from making use of technology and digital tools within the company for better communications with my clients, my partners, my team, agile task and people management, strong partnership with our clients. In fact, the core business of the company was to accompany our clients in their digital transformation. And in fact, making them move to the cloud, beginning, since the beginning of their project. So even the selection of the technology and accompanying them, being with them during all the different phases, the analysis, the design, the testing, the validation, the production, and the implementation of the whole solution, the end-to-end solution, and even beyond. That was what I've been doing for almost 16 years in Mauritius within the company, knowing that before I was also implementing ERP, so software solutions for our clients. Before it was not really this, this cloud technology. And today I know that since quite a number of years now, we are really now in the cloud. So knowing that, so that's what I've been doing as an active entrepreneur. Today, as a retired entrepreneur, I am actively sharing my know-how to help startups, new businesses in, making the most optimal use of digital platforms, for example, mobile apps, social media, um, business and people management, tech tools, to make them move to not only moving to cloud this time, but moving to smart cloud, which includes, almost all the innovative components, digital solutions, business processes re-engineering, data quality and analytics, security and integrity. So today, more than ever, an entrepreneur cannot launch a business without thinking about technology, which is one of the engines, the driving force of the business. It's like new fashion. Like today we talk about digital entrepreneurship.
Exactly. That would be one of my next question to you later on. So Liz, would you like to just answer the first question for us? You're on mute, Liz.
The most common words in COVID, you are on mute, yes. And we think about what we're going to say and we forget that no one can hear us. We can think about technology and think, oh, we've got to embrace technology for technology's sake. We've got to go digital. We've got to go on the cloud. And I meet a lot of business people and entrepreneurs who come to us for the guidance and the sort of help that Zoo provides. And they think they have to do it because they should. And I always like to say to them, and particularly to women who may not be very confident with technology, that it is a tool. It's a tool that is going to allow you to achieve what you want to do in business. And so it is really important that women build digital literacy and confidence in using technology, because otherwise they won't be able to achieve what they want to in business. That's just how it is today. And because the technology and the platforms, the opportunities, it's very positive as well that there are so many changes, they are changing so rapidly. It is so important that women embrace technology and embrace that change and get on the move with it, because it is going to keep changing. When I meet business people and entrepreneurs, when they think digital technology, so what do we mean by digital? We mean that is the transmission of data from one device to another. And when you talk about digital, they immediately think digital marketing. So they think about websites and search engine optimization and maybe apps and social media. That's what they immediately think. And that's good. And we know why they do. And that's because they as consumers use it. They use the internet to search and buy things, and they use Facebook and Instagram, etc. And so it's therefore critically important for any small business owner to be thinking about what the consumer is doing and what their customer is doing, and then ensure that their products and services are in that marketplace. So digital marketing is super important. But also what a lot of small business people and entrepreneurs don't realise is that digital is an opportunity, that they can be driving digital in their business and improving all aspects of their business. And this is some of the work that Zulaika does in helping people understand the opportunities in improving the efficiency in their back-end systems, in improving the way that they communicate with suppliers or their staff, in using it for recruitment, certainly for financial management. You know, there is not one area of business where technology can't be used to optimize your efficiency and save you time, or to help you grow the business. So as far as, and I see this now, I see new businesses being started where if the person starting them is quite technically confident, if they have that digital literacy and that confidence, and they're not scared to try new technologies, they can move much more quickly with their business, and they can get into the marketplace more quickly, and they can get into new markets more quickly, or they can take products to market more quickly. I see it as a great advantage, but it's really important that you, as the entrepreneur, as the owner of your business, that you have an understanding of what the technology can do for you, and you can make smart choices about that, and you drive it. You don't let it drive you. You're not doing it for the sake of it. You're getting the knowledge and deciding whether you're going to do these things in-house or outsource them, and you're getting the advice from people so that you can choose the right technologies. But one last comment I'd say is, when it comes to using technology for marketing and communications, staff communications, sales processes, nothing replaces human touch. So what we need to do is always look for technology that is going to serve our customers and communicate with our staff, etc., at the same quality and standard as if we were doing it like this, face to face, and we can still have our personalities and empathy and all of those things coming through. It's just that we will increase our reach and the efficiency in the way that we do it, but we should never try to completely replace the human touch. It just supports it. We still have lots of opportunity for human touch, but we can just do it more efficiently.
Thank you, Liz, for this bright answers. Actually, I think this is the main fear for some women entrepreneurs. You know, you just spoke about the human factor. I think we come across so many women entrepreneurs. They are not very confident, you know, to embrace that transformation, that digital transformation in their businesses. You know, I think that's the greatest fear. So talking about digital transformation, we have all been in that COVID period. So you how was the COVID-19 pandemic change your approach for the use of technology? Liz.
We have had to increase our use of technology in our business for a positive reason. So we were very fortunate that because we are in the online, coaching and support area, the demand on our business grew. So we're very, very fortunate. And we have had to use it to scale. So, where we might have been running 2 programs at the same time, we're now running 8. And we might, we've got hundreds of business people in those programs. So we have had to scale very rapidly. And we are still a small business ourselves. So we are not using enterprise level systems. And that's one of the great things about our business is we're using small business appropriate software packages and the cloud and things that we would recommend to a small business. So we have had to optimize those and get them integrating and talking to each other so that we could automate our processes. If we had kept the way we were, we would never have been able to grow. So I'll give you an example in, say, growing our team. So we have this very nice product that we do for a lot of businesses called a digital engagement health check, where we assess their online presence. So it's all about digital marketing. So it's looking at their website in detail, looking at search engine optimization that they have or don't have in place. It's looking at what they're doing with their online reputation and social media platforms. And we need trained assessors to follow our system to do those assessments. So we needed to recruit a lot more of them. We have automated every step of that recruitment process now, where we can just advertise a link. They can go and read the position description. They can do a partial application just to impress us about what background they have and experience and why they would like to be an assessor. They can then go on and read and sign online a non-disclosure agreement, like a confidentiality deed, so that we can then move them to the next stage, which is also online. So once they sign that, they then get through the next gate online to be able to do the self-training to learn how to be an assessor. And from there, we can then take them through the final recruitment process. And they have online support where they can go and ask questions. Now, none of this has been built in an enterprise system. It's all been built using web pages and using tags in our CRM, in our customer relationship management system, which isn't a big system. It's a small business level system. We use Zapier, Z-A-P-I-E-R, Zapier, along, and we have notifications of each of the stages of this coming up in Slack. So these are all small business tech tools, but what it means is none of our team need to get involved manually in any of that process. An assessor or a person who would like to be an assessor for us can get right through to a fully trained stage and even sign a subcontractor agreement online. So it has saved us, I can't tell you how many hours to be able to do that. So that's an example of one part of our business. We've then brought in a whole lot of similar processes using the same kind of technologies for onboarding people into our coaching programs, for them to book one-on-one coaching lessons. We haven't taken away the people. They still get face-to-face with people. They've still got support that they can come and get and run workshops face-to-face. But all of the anything that had an admin feel to it, if we can automate it, we've automated it, and it's allowed us to grow. So that's been our big shift in COVID.
Thank you, Liz. So we have question for Zulaika. You've been talking about digital entrepreneurship earlier. So share with us how would you have seen, share with us how you have seen women-owned businesses grow by embracing digitalization. And if I may add also, what would be your recommendations for a most effective use of technology and digital to bring profitability and sustainability?
Yes. So, in fact, women-owned companies are an emerging economic force, and it's really on the rise. And the latest research available from, for example, the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor reports that women's entrepreneurial activity has increased by 10%. And that's good news. And the other thing, Africa, I think for me, Africa is a world leader when it comes to female entrepreneurship. So there, women make up to like 58% the continent's self-employed population. Beyond these promising figures, so how do women embrace digitalization and technology? On my side, I've been working very closely with two wonderful women, two wonderful women entrepreneur founders of two completely different businesses. So one of them, naming them, so one of them is Future Females Invest. And this one is, the aim is to build up a community of women entrepreneurs, putting together investors, mentors, and female founders. And the other organization is called nothing to do with the first one, and it is called Kipepeo Beauty. And this one is connecting beauty and well-being to women and men. And it's like a booking.com for beauty and self-care. So what I have noticed, these two women, since the beginning, since the launch of their business, they have, realized that today it's a new trend. They have to leverage smart technology to elevate their customer experience and the efficiency of the business operations. So what they have been doing is at the beginning, really identifying the right tools. So there has been an analysis phase to be able to identify the needs and to be able to design the right tool and the right software to adopt the right software solution. So this has been, this now today, the analysis part is really obvious. And also we have the design part, the graphics part, and how to attract the customers online. Because today, and what are the best devices? Is it a website? Is it a smartphone? Is it a mobile app? So I think that today this is the first thing, because we are now with our customers, like, via the clouds. So we have this, we need to innovate and implement and design solutions to be able to attract and appeal our customers. So I see that, that's how these two wonderful ladies today, they are on this part of really trying to find the best digital solution for their business. That's one thing. And I can also see how crucial, digital marketing, social media, all these different communication channels, what it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, even TikTok now. I have got quite a number of friends in diverse sectors, and whatever the sectors, today, I don't know anybody who doesn't have a Facebook page, for example. Everybody has a Facebook page, even if it is someone selling spices or cakes or whatever. So you can't, I mean, it's no longer possible to live without this channel to be able to reach out to our customers. So, and the recommendation for me, as I said, is using technology and digital tools will definitely increase, the profits and decrease the investments, even if we know that the investment in the technology as a first part can be an important one. We can spend quite a long time in the analysis phase. This can seem long for an entrepreneur, but it's very important to be able to implement the best solution aligned with the business, whether it's a B2B or a B2C organization. We need to have the good solution. And the good part of it is that there are even free services or which really help entrepreneurs to find the best software solutions adapted to their business. And the other part, also very important, I think, is data security and integrity, because sometimes we may forget about this, which is now even more important because everything is done throughout the cloud. So, and as I said, also is knowing your customers, their expectations, all these different, because the client on their side, they should feel that they are being taken care of and even pampered, as if they are with us. As Liz said, like it should be seamless now, that the connection, the interaction between the businesswoman and her clients or her team, her suppliers or whatever. So it's really, so I think it's like before, when I was working on ERPs, we were talking about a technical functional. So someone who is technical and functional. But now I would say more technical marketing, because the person should be, should have the techniques and should be also having this marketing feeling, like to know what are the contents, what are the frequency, what are the channels, and it's really like what should we do to sustain our business, to build our network, to optimize the online presence, to hire new staff, to launch marketing and sales campaigns, all these things, talking about technology. And here where I will join Liz, what she said about the human touch, I think we should not forget, like we know that technology, we're going to use it all the time. We need it. We are in a tech era. We cannot skip. We cannot do something different. But at the same time, I think we should know that at some point there should be a live event or a live communication which follow this, to show that, okay, there has been all these tech things via all your different devices, but now today we have a live event. So that would be really my recommendation about this balance between the technology part and the human life part.
Thank you, Zu. So we say that we can see that women entrepreneurs, they are being offered new opportunities by technologies to start and grow business. So even through new as well as the traditional form of technologies, women entrepreneurs are reaching out to customers, becoming more efficient. If I listen to you, and building their businesses in ways they could not before. So we can say that we at AMFC, especially for the project Business Without Borders, we are continuously providing more capacity building to help those women entrepreneurs really have that digital transformation, use the maximum of the tools they have to grow and innovate their businesses. So the next question would go to Liz. The pandemic has dramatically reduced international travel and tourism for the time being, Liz. So being in the tourism industry, what are your strategies to propel your business forward during this time of uncertainty? I think that would be a good question, and I don't know if we have people in the tourism sector in the audience, but that would, I think that would interest a lot of our audience to listen.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, obviously, tourism and travel has been very hard hit because of COVID, as decimated. And I can imagine in Mauritius, it's, you know, we're so dependent on the international tourism market, very, very tough. I'm going to speak about what I've seen, what businesses have done. One of them, there's been different approaches that I've seen, and it depends on the situation, because generally we've seen COVID trends in travel. Now, there have been the trends that we've seen, and I know that they would be different in Australia to Mauritius. But Mauritius now, as you're opening up, these things might be quite relevant actually. One of the trends we saw is that the market became very local. So if you weren't in lockdown, it was your local market that you could attract to a tourism business. So what that meant to the tourism operators is that they had to change who they were marketing to and who they were serving. So they had to sometimes change the products and the packages and the way that they were dealing with customers on the ground, but they also had to take advantage of digital marketing because very quickly, because sometimes they wouldn't know when a lockdown would be going to be lifted. And what we saw that was quite successful for some businesses is that they would spend the lockdown time planning the campaign that they could launch through, say, social media, through Facebook and Instagram, launch a campaign. They would have it ready to go, sitting in the Facebook ads platform. They would hear on the news that the lockdown was going to be lifted the next day. They would then launch that campaign and they would sell. So these were the ones that they were being agile and going, okay, we'll just work with what's happening here. And I think that was a really good, successful strategy for some people. We saw, and that we continue to see, because Australia is still quite locked down in a lot of places, we have seen tourism businesses, I hate this word because it's been so overused, but pivot their product. So where they might have been offering accommodation and restaurant experiences, they were able to create products instead that they could sell online. So they were using their expertise and working with creators and creating products, whether they were care packages or gifts and things that they could. We also saw a lot of businesses, and I've said this to so many tourism businesses, if they're not doing it now, they need to do it, is to have digital gift certificates so that people could keep the dream alive. They could gift a friend or family member a beautiful stay at a resort or a hotel or experiences with a tour company. So a lot of businesses that didn't have that before now have. Generally, we have seen tourism businesses working on their businesses. So we've seen operators doing refurbishments. We've also seen them doing refurbishment digital marketing. So that's where businesses have been making website improvements or putting CRMs, customer relationship management systems in place, and email marketing automation that they didn't have. So making advancements in their marketing so that they're ready for when the travel market starts to move again. So they are some of the main things that we've seen where tourism operators are being proactive, not just hiding under the doona and watching Netflix all day, but going, okay, I'm going to ride this wave, this COVID wave slowly, and I am going to come out the other side with a stronger business. So that, I would say that's a bit of a summary of what I've observed.
Thank you, Liz. I see that the new technologies you are all talking, Liz and Zulaika, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook Shop, TikTok, the email automation, CRM, etc. I think these new technologies are designed to be easy to use and master. You might even find yourself enjoying the process of learning. But most importantly, the latest technology trends can actually make your business better. So, Zulaika, would you like to share with us some of the best tech tools and tips that have helped you today sustain your business and bring it to the next level?
I completely agree that running a business can get complicated, and like managing projects, keeping track of our resources, our customer demands, managing our brand, all these chasing invoices and etc. etc. So we have been like, it is something mandatory to be able to find out tools to be able to help us so what we needed is I will give you the tips maybe of the tools I've used, but at the same time, the most important part has been to analyze our business needs, because I think that the tools which people are going to use should be aligned with the expected result. And the tool should be, of course, smart, fast, easy, and even sometimes fun. But it has to be, there need to be some thinking before just saying, okay, my friend, my neighbor is using this, so I should use this one. So I think people, entrepreneurs, should be curious and also know what they are doing, know their business before choosing a tool. For example, on my side, we used Google a lot. So whatever our data storage, document creation, and even the time tracking and travel, all these different things we were using either the Google Drives or the Google Calendars. So Google Drive, of course, very very easy. The best part of the drive is whatever the document, everybody who is sharing this document is going to be on the same level of information. So that was something we were using a lot. And what we did, for example, all the internal management, like staffing, the production to have the reflection of our production, all these things were done internally on our Salesforce, because we were also implementing Salesforce at our clients, and we used, so being convinced that Salesforce was one of the best CRM, so we also used Salesforce internally. So that's again, for example, for the project management, we were also using Salesforce, but now with other companies where I am helping. So I'm learning new things. So we never stop learning. So for example, they are using a tool called Trello for the project management. You also have Slack and customer engagement. What we used also engagement and satisfaction, Google Ads and Analytics, for example. So for recruiting, we were using, for the aptitude test, we were using something called Dev Killer. But again, really, I think the most important part is I can give tips to a company doing the similar business as I do. That will be very interesting for this company, but someone doing something completely different in the media or beauty or healthcare or training or whatever, I think there should be, again, analysis is for me, whatever you're going to choose afterwards, it's really important. It's the first phase for the success afterwards. Thank
Liz,
you.
would you like to add some few tips or tools from your side?
I would. And at the same time, I think that my answer may actually speak to the question that Rima has put into
Rima
the chat.
answered, exactly.
Yeah, where Rima asked her question, what advice do you give our women entrepreneurs who are taking their first steps into digitalization? Because the way I wanted to answer this question, and it's kind of similar to what Zulaika is saying about the analysis is so important. When what I was thinking about to answer this question is when I'm working one-on-one with a business person, they want to know what tools should I use? What should I do? What should I do on my website? And I get them to stop and I help them understand, first of all, what is their business goal? So what is their most important immediate business goal? And it's normally going to be attracting a different type of customer, or they're wanting to sell more of a certain type of product or service. That's usually what it is. It's something about growth usually. And so then I will help them understand how do your customers find you? How do they find you typically? So I was working with a winery recently, just the other day, and most of his business comes by word of mouth. It doesn't come because people search for his winery or like his wine, try to find it on Google. It's because of the results. So that determines so much your decision about your digital marketing strategy and how much that you need to put into content and into your website and what you need to do in social media. So you really need to think through your business goals, then your marketing priorities. What are those objectives in your marketing? And then that helps you, if you think about how your customers find you, that's a really good, important thought process to go through. And that will help you decide then on the importance of your website investment or other platforms. I remember when we were working on the formulation of Business Without Borders, some of you said to me, a lot of our female entrepreneurs don't have a website and they don't feel the need for them. And I just wanted to comment on that, because when we think about websites today for small businesses, they don't have to be big, expensive websites. And if you are a bit confident with technology, you can create your own in Wix or Squarespace if you don't want to pay a developer to do it for you. The reason a website is so important is so that you can transact with people on that website, or at least create a relationship with them on there and collect their email address and get them into your customer database. When you are only working on Facebook and Instagram, working on social media platforms, might have a shop in Facebook. One of the problems you have is that you can't own that relationship with that person. So you actually, there is an incentive to actually do business on your website. Yes, use Facebook and Instagram for brand awareness and to engage with your past customers and to profile your products, but try to get them onto your own website, because you can then cultivate, nurture a relationship with them. And if you can get them to sign up for your customer database, your newsletter, maybe have a lovely, what we call a lead magnet on your website, a nice piece of content they want to download, get their email address. This is a really good start in business, because then you can start to build your customer database. With that customer database, you can then do so much more in terms of marketing and having that relationship with them. And it is the beginning of you being able to do much more advanced marketing, like email marketing automation, or using, if you've got that CRM, like Zulaika was talking about using Salesforce for automation. There's other tools as well. Then you can also integrate it with your website. But the starting point is get a basic website and get that CRM going, that basic customer database. The other thing I would say that's really important as a starting point is a little cybersecurity. So safe password management, it is crucial. So everybody listening to this webinar, if you are writing your passwords down onto post-it notes or into a notebook, or you're using simple passwords, you are very vulnerable to having your Facebook account hacked, or people getting into your email. And that's been a COVID trend, has been increased cyber attacks and phishing and text message fraud. It's been worse than ever. So you need to get a safe password manager. Now, there's a variety out there. The one that we recommend to our clients is called LastPass, LastPass, LastPass. I use one called 1Password. Now, there's others out there, but LastPass is quite good, as even their free version is quite good. So I really want everybody to really think about that, because we need to have complex passwords that are highly encrypted. So please share any others that you know of, and please look at that. I agree, in terms of tools I love to use in the business, I agree with Google Docs with Zulaika. We use it so much. We create forms for our programs for clients. We, use a lot of Google Docs for collaboration, Google Sheets instead of Excel. So it's a great platform for sharing and dynamic updating. The other one that we use a real lot in all of our marketing is Canva. And I'm sure some of you would be aware of canva.com. So Canva is, it's a great tool. We create so much on Canva. For clients, we create lead magnets, like beautiful pieces of content, like little brochures that they can put onto their website. And we do a lot of social media posts. We do covers for YouTube videos, you name it, if it's a graphic design job.
Exactly.
So it's turned out our whole team into graphic designers, even though none of us are. So it's a brilliant, brilliant tool. And the other one that I recommend often to clients is to have an online chat widget on their website, because it's another big trend. It's real growth in people wanting to do messaging. So yes, you'll get messages through your Facebook page, but if you have a website, people also want to chat on websites. So put an online chat widget on your website. And the reason I say that is that conversion off online chat is really high. You think about how warm a customer is, like a warm lead, if they're on your website and they're asking you a question. So we want to enable that. That's what the consumer wants, so that's what we want to give them.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you very much for all these tips and tools. Thank you, Zulaika, as well. I totally agree with you, Liz. I myself use the Canva a lot for all my designs, so I don't pay any designer to do my stuff now, so I do that myself. And I would also add on that you're right that in our business without borders modules, we have so many other tips that I think mentees will be learning a lot from this program. So I would say while listening to you all, to both of you, so the key, as with many things in life, is keeping an open mind and always being persistent. As a small company, you probably don't have the luxury of a tech team to keep you up to date on all the cutting edge developments in your industry. So that's why we had Liz today, and myself and Zulaika shared with you some free tools that you can use very easily. So that's why we say you don't need a tech team. So you can keep with the important advances through publication or webinars that like we are having right now today, so that you know what's relevant to your business. You just need to track the major trends so you don't fall behind. So to stay competitive, you need to adopt and incorporate technology into your everyday business operation. And I would also say that the latest technology trends can make your job easier and will also show your customers that your business is modern and evolving. So keep up with what's hot in your industry and make the effort to integrate the technology that's best for your business. So I don't know if we have one more question. So I think we have one from Joanna. Maybe we had time for one last question. So thanks for the session. My concern is I'm not very good at writing content on social media, and I do know it's important. Any tips that could help us beginners to make our posts enjoyable and attractive when posting? Who would like to reply to this question?
I'd like to share some of our tips from our training. What we advise our clients to do, first of all, to make your life easier, is have content themes. So it comes back to marketing strategy again, like I was saying before, is really know what you're trying to do, what your business is about, what your customer likes about your business, and where is your expertise and your passion. So if you can think of 5 content themes, or you could call them content pillars, and that is part of your story, if you like. And so it makes it easier for you to think of things to post about when you've got 5 or maybe 7, maybe 3, but 5 is a good number. Content themes. Now, if you've chosen content themes, things that you feel confident and passionate about, it's easier to write about them or to go and take a photo or a little video about them because you're passionate about them, and it's much easier to do that. And if you find writing the caption quite difficult, then maybe do a bit more video than what you're doing with still photos. Now, video is a huge growth trend on social media and particularly on Instagram. So if you're not doing video on Instagram, you won't be getting the maximum engagement that you can be getting. So everybody who's working Instagram and Facebook who's in this, that's something I'd love you to take away from this. If you're not already doing that, is start practicing doing more video, just short videos, and try doing some reels on Instagram, because the engagement, Instagram algorithm is pushing that up. So it takes the pressure off you in writing captions if you're doing a bit of video. And you know, that might be easier for you. And remember that a picture paints 1,000 words too. So you don't need to write so much if you've got a great picture. And you can use Canva as well for Instagram or Facebook posts, where you can just put a few words on a nice kind of poster, and then you don't have to write such a big caption. And how many people actually want to read a big caption anyway? It's mostly quick scrolling. They just want that quick impression. And if you've got a nice little short video there or a great Instagram story, you know, your stories across the top, the engagement on those is much higher. So I hope that helps.
I agree with you, Liz, because when you look at the video, it's already attract your attention more easily than when you read it. So it's the picture is there, still there in your mind. So I think, yeah, you're right. Having real video for your marketing, it's very good. Zulaika, would you add something?
Yes, I just wanted to add something. I forgot, because while I was helping, you know, in these mobile apps and everything, I've learned that there is an interface now with WhatsApp. So since everybody is using WhatsApp, so could be something which can be used with your website or whatever your platform and integration, because I've been able to discuss with the people and everything, and it's quite I think it could be quite helpful. That was one thing. And the other thing I wanted to say, and I think that sometimes it's not bad to look at what our competitors are doing, because
we learn from them. We learn from them.
We can really learn a lot from them, because instead of, you know, inventing everything, so we can learn, and that's, even if we do it a little bit differently, more innovative maybe, but at the same time the basics we can, you know, that's So, and like on an ending note, I also think that the Business Without Borders program has been really very helpful. And I think there is V2, I don't know. But anyway, thank you so much, Sameera, for having me. And I really hope that I've been able to share my tips and ideas with all of you, the audience here. And thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Zulaika. You are both very wonderful, awesome ladies we had in the MFC team and together with us with the Business Without Borders project. So if we don't have any other question, I think there's one question. Maybe we can answer that quickly. Zu, someone asking you what is it exactly that you spoke about the WhatsApp, please. Okay, I think we can share the answer. I know what's the interface you're talking. We'll share with the lady who asked about the interface.
Okay. Yeah, because then I think it will be easier for her to be able to liaise directly with the people from WhatsApp.
Exactly. So if we don't have any other question, I think that was a wonderful and instructive session. Thank you very much.